All right, this is where it's gonna get long. I think this video, I'm just gonna get into everything, and it's gonna make me feel so drained. But now I just want to go ahead and get into, what people are also saying, that my sisters have not been with me since August 1st. It's August 19th. We gonna go over these text messages with mom, and I'm gonna put them up here so y'all can see them too. This is gonna be a lot. This is gonna drain me. I'm already knowing. So after this, I'm probably not gonna be able to talk about much. That's why I talked about all the other stuff, because dealing with a mom like this, like, it's so draining. And mind you, I don't even have like contact with her on a daily basis. It's just the contact that we have about the girls and trying to come up with an agreement. Like, that part is draining. Just that, like, I would love to be no contact with her, never have to talk to her again, because, yeah. So first, I want to say, I made a video talking about this as well. It's going to come after, because I recorded it after my birthday, so you're going to see that, so don't be confused. I'll be sitting in the living room talking about mom and breaking it all down, and how she knew about us being in the car and didn't do nothing about it and all that. But let me just say really quick that mom willingly gave me to Bree guardianship from April 27th until August 1st, right? And she found out that we were homeless, sleeping in the car, literally a couple days before Tink's birthday, my sister's birthday. So around May 29th, I think she actually seen it right on her birthday, or May 30th. She found out, right? She went off on my sister. She went off on me. She said that I needed to bring them back and that she was going to the courthouse. So she says a lot of inconsistent things. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just wait for her to go to the courthouse, because if she goes to the courthouse, there's nothing I can do about that. They're gonna make me bring them back, because she has full custody. She willingly gave me guardianship. She did not get her rights taken away. She did not get proven unfit, any of that, right? She said she was gonna go to the courthouse, never went to the courthouse. We didn't hear from her for a month. So she made it known that she knew we were sleeping in the car, threw jabs at me, threw jabs at us, and then didn't call or check on our kids for a month, knowing that they were sleeping in the car. So this is the type of mom I'm talking about that I'm dealing with, right? And then a month goes by, and out of nowhere, she texts me I can't sleep. I'm going to call Mackie tomorrow. I'm like, the last time you said you were going to the courthouse, you haven't called. You know the situation we're in, and it's been a month, and now you just want to call them? And then she's like, that's none of your concern, and da-da-da, all those other things, right? That is in the next video, going into that. I'm specifically going to talk about how she went from saying my sisters had to come back August 1st, me trying to get an agreement with her, and then her going back and forth and saying that they could stay. So, Sunday, July 20th. This is my last time trying to come up with an agreement with you so they can stay here like they want to. They love it here in Arizona and have told you over and over again that they want to stay. School starts here in a few days, and I would like to enroll them for the school year. I'll let you think on it. Let me know by tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll be taking this all to court again, but this time with a lawyer. It doesn't have to be the whole school year. We can do until winter break and reassess, right? Because we're in Arizona. School starts much earlier here than it does back in Illinois. School starts here in July 24th. So I reached out to her again 4 days before school started here, asking to get them to be able to stay and to enroll them, right? And then I let her know, if you don't let me know by tomorrow, then I'm going to go to court. Because at this point, it was July 20th. So my guardianship was going to end August 1st. And once that happened, if mom literally texted me and said I need to bring them back, I would have to, because then it would be kidnapping at that point, because I didn't have anything else that said I could have them past August 1st. She said Tuesday, July 22nd, so 2 days later, there will not be a reassess because you didn't hold up your end of the bargain with just the summer deal. That's what I agreed to. Get your lawyer, because you are going to need one, especially when I bring up how you've been using and exploiting your little sisters for financial gain for 2 years now. Also, you won't win again because you are trying to remove them out of their home state. Illinois doesn't take lightly to that. Better do your research this time, lying-ass unstable creature. And you don't give me an ultimatum ever. Thirdly, you do not have permission for me to enroll them in school, and your little temp guardianship is up next month, right? So I didn't respond to that. I was like, lying as unstable creature is crazy. So typical narcissism, right? She's standing on, she's not reassessing anything. I didn't keep up my deal. What was my deal? I'm confused. Like, she even said to my face when I asked to take them to Arizona that she even said that she knew what my end goal was, meaning she knew that I was going to take her back to court. So you knew this and still willingly let me take your kids to Arizona. She's pretty much taking advantage of the fact that she knows the system is always going to be on her side, no matter how abusive and neglectful she is. And really, it's just a power move. It's a control thing. It's, I don't want my kids, but I don't want you to have my kids, yet you have my kids, but I just want to hurt you. It don't make sense. So I didn't text back. I'm just like, all right. I did, at that point, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I contacted my lawyer. I retained the lawyer. I paid $6,000 for the lawyer, and we was going forward with the court, right? Saturday, July 26th, 4 days later, she texts me and says, I need your new address. I said, absolutely not. What the? No. I didn't even text back. Are you out of your mind? You're not getting my damn address? Get out of here. What do you need my address for? If I'm bringing your kids back August 1st, what do you need my address for? Right? Hey, pay attention, because this is where you got to put the dots together. Then that same day at 3 p.m., she says, no need for the girls to come back home right on the 1st. They can come right before school starts back up. I said, unless you fill out more paperwork, they have to come back on the 1st. I'm not getting charged for kidnapping. She said, put a 9 after the 1, so it's the 19th. Why would I verbally say they can stay till school is starting to turn around and do that? You telling me to put a 9 after a 1 on a legal document, that's the first red flag. 2, you just called me an unstable lying creature, and you just told me a couple days ago that they're not staying past August 1st and get my lawyer because I'm going to need one. But now you're texting me saying they can stay until August 19th because school don't start in Illinois until August 21st. So now you're saying, oh, damn, I still don't want my kids, so they can stay a little longer, right? Then the same day later, says, tell the girls I got a new car. It's a mini SUV. It's real nice. What? Mind you, she has not talked to my sisters. This is July 26th. She hasn't talked to my sisters since May 30th. 2 months. Why will my sisters care about you getting a new SUV? And if you've been keeping up, then you know our mom caused a serious accident on the highway driving the SUV at like 75 miles per hour. She flipped it multiple times. That's why her arm, she has a disability with her arm now. She almost lost her arm. And the girls, thank God they were covered. They only had a few scratches. She caused that accident. When I was in Arizona and I took my mental health break for 6 months, right? The reason I came back to Illinois and had to go through all that hell was because I came back to help take care of her and be there for my sisters. And then she put me on the streets. Y'all know the rest after that. But she caused that accident because she was driving on a highway going over 70 miles per hour. Her window was broken and it was down. This was in like October, so it was colder in the Midwest. And instead of pulling over like a responsible person would do and stopping the vehicle, she's trying to fix it while also driving on the highway, right? You got Tink was 9 at the time. Mackie was 6 in the back, right? She's trying to fix it with one hand, can't. So then she tells Tink, my 9-year-old sister at the time, to hold the wheel so she can fix it. Tink was scared to death, tried to, but then freaked out and was like, I can't. So mom used her knees, took both hands off the wheel, tried to fix it, lost control of the truck, and they flipped multiple times on the highway, right? My sisters were trapped in there. Mom was trapped underneath the SUV on the highway laying like this. Her arm was trapped until EMS got there and they had to help her. And that's how she almost lost her arm, because all that pressure, literally, she had compact syndrome. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember off my head, but they literally had to do so many surgeries, had to take a skin graft from her thigh to put it on her arm. She caused that. You over here talking about you got a mini SUV, tell the girls. Bro, when I told my sisters, they was like, Bro, why would we care? They don't even feel comfortable driving with her. My sisters got PTSD for driving in the car. Like, they only feel safe with me, and it took a long time for them to regain that safety of simply driving on a highway again, driving in a car. But they will not drive with anybody else because of that. Do you think mom ever took them to get evaluated, like, mentally, emotionally for that? She says to this day they don't got PTSD, but she does, right? She's the only one that can have PTSD because she was the one driving and she almost lost her arm. And since they walked out with scratches. So she says that. I didn't respond. Sunday, July 27th. I said, your words aren't consistent. Your last message, you called me a lying, unstable creature and that you weren't reassessing them staying past August 1st. Now you want them to stay until school starts August 19th. It shouldn't be an issue for you to extend the dates and formally sign paperwork. You can do it all at the library, scan and email it. She texts back, you've said all types of dirty, nasty shit about me, including lies, so miss me with that. I would have considered them staying until winter break, but you didn't keep your end of the bargain, so yeah. I go to the library on my day off Wednesday and see. I don't even know where to go to get the papers, like what site, and if they was your first priority, then you would let me keep communication with them and stop brainwashing them. I didn't respond. Because at this point, like, you're so up and down, like, you need to make a decision. One minute you're telling me they're not staying past August 1st, that they're coming back. Then the next minute you're texting me telling me they can stay until August 19th. Then you're saying you would have considered them staying until winter break. But it's my fault. I've said dirty things to you. No, I haven't. I don't even communicate with you like that unless it has to do with my sisters, and you know that. But never taking accountability. And then her saying she don't even know where to get the papers. Proof that it's always me doing everything. The paperwork that we have now, the temporary guardianship, I found those papers. I got those papers. I gave them to mom. I had to stay on her to sign them. I had to help her fill it out. Literally, I was like face to face with her, helping her sign the papers, right? Like, I do everything. Now it's like, I'm here, you're there. Now you got to actually go to the library. Now you actually got to print it off. Now you actually got to sign it. Then you got to scan it back to me so then I can sign it. But even then, like, I still do the majority of the work. You feel me? So she's like, yeah, I didn't respond. And then she's like, if they're your first priority, then you would let me communicate with them and stop brainwashing them. Here's the thing, y'all, that like really goes over y'all head, and for the I'm gonna just call y'all the little peanut head community that really thinks that, oh, I'm brainwashing them, I'm coaching them. If that is the case, then why is mom allowing them to stay with me? Like, answer that for me. Mom has full custody, right? I just had temporary guardianship willingly given to her. Her rights have not been taken. So if I am such a harm, if I'm so unstable, if I'm brainwashing them, if I'm coaching them, then why is mom allowing them to stay with me? Why are the girls still with me? Why is she even considering them staying longer? Why do I always have my sisters if that's the case? Because I know me as a mother, right? And I have full custody, and I willingly let my oldest daughter have guardianship of my kids, but I feel like she's cutting contact, she's brainwashing my kids. I'm going to get my kids. There's no conversation about it. So, like, make that make sense. Tuesday, July 29th, my birthday. I've been thinking, might be able to work something out, but I will have detailed paperwork. I have an idea, but if I can't see them and talk to Mackie, then it's a no-go. First of all, she did not reach out to them, and she blames me for why she's not in contact with them. I have not blocked her. I can't block her because I only have temporary guardianship. I can't block her. I can't. I have to stay in contact with her. Until I have like legal, full, permanent custody, I cannot block her. So she has not reached out at all. And I have always felt like my sister shouldn't have to talk to her. Tink wants nothing to do with her. Mackie, neither. But mom keeps pushing it and forcing it. So if it was up to me, no, it would be no contact, because I don't believe that children should have to stay in contact with a parent when they have been abusive and neglectful. I don't believe in that. I don't enable that at all. So my first priority is my sisters. My first priority is not to be like, oh, yeah, girls, I know mom did this, but like, that's still our mom. No. That's why I'm the cycle breaker. No, I say absolutely not. I stand behind my sisters 110%. If they say they don't want to talk to somebody, they don't want to be around somebody, they don't want to go over there, it's not happening. Wednesday, July 30th, I said you have to make a decision because every day is something different. So let me know when you decide. August 1st is in 2 days. School has already started here. She said you didn't have a problem with it when Matt came with at the end of the school year and school wasn't quite up yet. Are you contesting to them coming to visit and be with me on their school breaks? And also, you will not keep me from communicating with them while they are with you. If I decide to, those two things are mandatory. She's talking about when we first came to Arizona, when we got evicted April 27th, she let Mackie come with. She did that. I had already asked her. She told me no, Mackie wasn't coming, that Mackie needed to finish the school year, and that she would think about me coming back. The goal was to come back and get Mackie after school got out because I knew she wasn't going to let her go. The day of, she literally said Mackie can go and that she didn't care about the rest of her school because she never has. And then I told her to withdraw Mackie. I don't even think she withdrew her. Do you think she got in trouble for that? No, that was 3 weeks of school that she, that wasn't accounted for. So I said 2 different situations. I only was taking Tink because she was already homeschooled. You said no to Mackie, so I planned on coming back for her once school got out. The day of moving out, you said you didn't want to separate them and that you didn't care about the rest of the school from Mac. You've had since April to think on what would be done once August 1st came. I tried to come up with an agreement with you July 20th. You said no, they would come back August 1st. Then July 26th, you said they could stay until August 19th. Now it's something else. I have always put their school first. The only reason they're not in school right now is because you said no. Thanksgiving break is November 26th to 28th. Winter break is December 22nd to January 4th. You can word it how you want to. You can also put set days that you have phone calls, preferably the weekends since school days will be busy, especially when they start sports. Also consider the time difference. We are 2 hours behind. 1 weekday, 1 weekend day, evening time, or put a time window. In writing, you have to put that you are allowing them to enroll in school in Arizona, but that you see them on school breaks and have scheduled phone calls. I agree to those terms. If you decide, you can send me your exact words. I can type it up on the same form we used before and email it to you so you can sign it in person with the witness and then send it back to me. I will sign it and then send you another copy. Saturday, August 2nd, I said it's August 2nd. I need to know what the plan is. Because she didn't respond. And at this point, it's August 2nd. My paperwork that says that I have temporary guardianship now is up. And so, I need to know, am I bringing them? And this is what y'all don't understand. Do you know how inconsistent it is? Because if August 2nd, she's just yeah, bring them now. Or what if I had already bought tickets because she told me August 1st they had to came back. I had already bought tickets to fly from here to Illinois. You know what I mean? It's just so inconsistent and no consideration for me, my time, or anything. And so she said, I have decided to let them be with you until Thanksgiving break. At which time we will reassess. I'm working a second job now and had to work yesterday and today. I'm not going to only talk to them on the weekends. We will do a schedule that I can talk for at least 30 minutes, like Tuesday and Thursday, and video chat on Saturdays. If you were ever to actually get custody, I would still be granted visitation, and you know that I think. Although I don't believe you ever will, but that's not the subject at hand. I will be able to see my Mac right around her B-Day as well. This is a lot to write out, and I want it done right. I would like to talk to Tink once a week. This is not optional for her or you. If you feel you cannot uphold my requirements, let me know and they can just return this month. Your hatred in your heart for me and the moves you have made will keep you from getting full custody, among other things. You had got what you wanted and had them for the summer, and nothing is ever enough. You have to make them hate me as well. I will never understand it, but like I said, not the subject at hand. Let me know if you agree. Stop posting them on social media and allow them to have a regular life. While you are retaining an attorney, I will be as well. Not a good look. Everything you've done for money. So, a lot, right? I sent a long message. Let's stay on topic here, because we both know in court it can get real ugly and everything will be put out that you have done. It only shows me always ending up with your kids somehow, most of the time willingly. So if you truly believed I'm so hateful and making your kids hate you, why keep letting them be with me then? Let's be realistic here. You have not talked to your kids all summer. Phone records don't lie. Now you want to add speaking with them in video calls just to look good on paper. Forcing Tink to speak with you even against her will. How does that look as a mother? You still have yet to make any real effort to repair your relationship with her after kicking her out not even 5 months ago. All of this has nothing to do with what's best for your kids or what they actually want. It's about what's convenient for you as always. When it comes to the social media part, I will not be controlled. I don't post anything negative or dangerous with them in it, so I'm supposed to continue being their main caregiver and doing everything for them, but can't ever post them. You make comments like, let them be normal kids, when you have no idea what their life looks like here, but you can obviously make a guess that they're happy and doing well, otherwise none of this would be a consideration. I can count on one hand how many times you talked to them in 4 months, even when you knew the situation they were in. Did you call, make sure they ate, send any money? No, only text messages blaming me for everything. Yet still allowed them to be with me. This isn't just you put what you want on paper and I agree to everything. This is a mutual agreement, and I refuse for you to be the parent that you have been and for me to constantly pick up the pieces and still get controlled or treated like I'm the problem. Most importantly, the girl's feelings and wants never being considered. I already have a lawyer and you know that. I'm waiting to see if we actually agree on something. Otherwise, I will go the other route. This is what she said. You stopped letting me talk to Max, so I stopped calling, and I have proof. They were supposed to be good with you, and you had them sleeping in a car. You only have a place because your followers pay for it. When I found out you had them sleeping in a car, I told you to send them home. You refused. I did give you a link. I had 1 month to help. I no longer receive link because I'm not in that income bracket anymore. Why would I think they wouldn't eat when they were in your care and responsibility for the summer? If you couldn't care for them, you shouldn't have dragged them out to Arizona. You will not bait me. Either you agree to my terms or they are back here. I do not have to negotiate with you. We are not in court. I have people from your social media following that have messaged me. The only reason DCFS was not called on you while you had them in the car was because I told the woman threatening to do it to please not do that, and that they would be back home with me this month. I never asked you to take my daughters last summer. They were with Trey, Gabby, and Kai. You snuck around doing all that and only had them because I had to move from one place to another in result of getting out of an abusive relationship. You even convinced yourself that this narrative you created is real. You need to seek psychological help. Tink doesn't want to speak to me because you brainwashed her for 2 entire years, told her she did not have to speak with me nor respect me. You are the one doing the damage, making them think they have anxiety and PTSD as if you are a doctor. So since we do not agree, what is the plan to get them back here then? Lastly, you didn't consider Max's feelings when she was back with me last December. She made it clear that she wanted to be in both of our lives, and you still keep pushing to try to remove me completely. It won't ever happen. I am their mother and haven't ever abused them. The judge told you last time there would be visitation and they would be seeing their mother, who is me, not you. You better think how court went before, because the judge told you in the state of Illinois if you could not prove that I was incapable of making my own life choices, they would be with me, their mother. I'm doing better than ever. Got a new car with a note that is helping build my credit. I got my first credit builder's loan, which is also building my credit. I will be able to buy a house within a year, God willing. God is preparing me to go to court with you once again in defeat. You now screenshot that, Brielle. And since when is Gucci perfume for your girlfriend and Beats and necessities? You and her are some scam artists, sweetie. Let me know how much either gas to get them back cost or plane tickets, and you care so much but won't bend to allow me to still communicate with them just to disrupt their lives once again. So you can see again the narcissism coming out, right? No accountability, it's me the problem. And she constantly brings up the GoFundMe. You're bringing up cologne and Beats. First of all, the Beats were for the girls, and even if they were for me, did you see everything else on there? Like that's all you care about. And so this is how I definitely know that it's our mom and our other siblings and relatives behind this, because the same things that mom are saying to me are the same things that are being sent to me by fake pages, fake numbers and stuff. Like, so yeah, that's a lot. I didn't let her stop talking to Mackie though. I had to leave the communication open. I didn't really want her to, but like she already like, you went ghost for a month. You didn't call. You never do. So I can't block out any communication without having like legal permanent custody or temporary custody. Like I have guardianship. I can't just block her out. And then to say like they were supposed to be good with me, so like gaslighting me. Like they're your kids at the end of the day. Even if I had them for the summer, like, and we were staying at an Airbnb or we were staying at a resort or we were staying, in my own apartment, like you as their mother should still be making sure that they're good. The enemy just don't want me to be great. Camera died again and overheated. So the last thing that I was saying is that like our moms should still be checking up to make sure like her kids are good, regardless if they're supposed to be with me. Yeah, they're good with me, but like, you're still their mother. So, and then you knowing that we're in the car in the situation that we're in, it was one of those things. She was just sitting there clapping, like, happy that I was in that situation, but your kids are also in that situation. And I'm your kid too. You don't treat me like it, but like, you know what I mean? So she did not give link. You can go back and look in the videos where me and Hennessy was talking about it. She sent a message to make it seem like there was $150 on there for us to get groceries. When I went to order it on Instacart, there was $16 left. So, no, she gets child support. She gets child support from my sisters. Did she send $20 here and there, or $50 here or there, or anything from the child support? No, because she lives off of the child support. Without the child support, she would not be able to do anything. And so, even though I have your kids, like, you still should be providing for them, because you are their mother at the end of the day. You always leave me to provide for them, and me and Hennessy have to bust our ass to do that. She said that she asked for me to bring them home when she found out they were sleeping in the car, and I refused. Like I said, you're the mother. You could go to the courthouse. You tell the judge. I did give my oldest daughter, I willingly let my oldest daughter have temporary guardianship, but I just found out they're sleeping in the car. My kids are in danger. Your rights didn't get taken away. You have full custody. The judge would have been like, okay, guardianship ended, and I would have had to bring them back. If I didn't, I would get kidnapping. So there's really no excuse for that. That part you willingly knew, and if you truly thought they were in danger, why didn't you do anything about it as a mother? But yeah, gaslighting, the usual. And then the whole DCFS thing, like, trust me, that was something I worried about with posting about us sleeping in the car, but then I reminded myself, like, me and my sisters are literally, we're in this situation because I'm saving them from the abuse and neglect. And I have audio messages, I have videos, I have text messages, I have proof on top of proof, you know what I mean? But still, it was like, I still was just a little scared. But God obviously, reminded me that all of this was supposed to happen. Like, DCFS cases were open so many times on my mom, and they got closed. It got brought up in court. And the GAL said that it was assigned to be the voice for my sisters, that, oh yeah, DCFS cases were open, but the kids weren't removed from the home. So DCFS is a joke. I used to be scared by DCFS, but I'm not, because I literally have seen them fail my sisters and fail so many other children. It's a joke. I don't, you know what I mean? So nobody, if people wanted to call DCFS, they were going to call DCFS. They weren't going to call it because you did anything. And then the part where she said, I never asked you to take my daughters last summer. They were with Trey, Gabby, and Kai. So Trey is our brother. Kai is our other sister that's an adult. Gabby is our brother's fiance. Real quick, I'm going to try, because this is going to take a lot. Let me break it down for you as fast as I can. So last summer, right, from June to August until I got the apartment that we got evicted out of, right, I was homeless at the time because, like I said, left Arizona to come back to Illinois when mom caused the accident. I was taking care of mom, taking care of the girls. After mom used and abused me and no longer needed me, she put me on the streets. And then I ended up homeless for a year and a half. And during that year and a half, that is when mom was at the peak with her abuse, because she knew the only person that would speak up or do something about it was me, and I was homeless. And I couldn't go to court if I didn't have a home. So she put me right where she wanted to put me. I went through hell. My sisters went through hell. It was so much abuse and neglect, like my sisters being left home alone at the age of 7 and 10, like throughout the night. Mom was in a very abusive relationship. So that's what I'm going to focus on here. Mom was in a very abusive relationship. And that is a big part of Mackie's PTSD right now, because Mackie seen mom get slapped. She was there for the fighting. She seen mom get hit. They've been in the car where they were arguing, and he was really angry, and he was like slapping on the car, swerving the car. He told my sister, like, she had to use the bathroom when they were on the highway. He said she could piss on the seats. Like, there were so many things going on that Mackie and Tink had to see while mom being in that abusive relationship and choosing men over them and doing whatever made him happy, which means he didn't care about her kids. So he didn't care that they were 7 and 10 years old, and Tink had to take care of Mackie, and they had to feed themselves, and there weren't ever food home. And me being homeless, trying to work out of that, still bringing them something to eat, still buying them groceries, still doing all these things, right, even while homeless, trying to work as fast as I can to get a home so I could get them out of that situation. Our brother and sister, they weren't involved at all. They didn't know nothing that was going on because they weren't active in their lives. And we were not on speaking terms because they enable mom and blame me for speaking out about it. So yeah, so Mackie seen that, right? Tink seen that. And so from June to August, I had seen Kai, she's 22. She's 6 years younger than me, right? My sister, I had seen her somewhere. I can't remember. I think I was driving Uber and I had picked up one of her friends and she had texted me like, hey, that Uber's for, my friend, whatever. I want to come out and say, hey, if it's not cool, it's cool. We hadn't spoke. So that's why it was that, right? In my mind, I'm like, at the time, I'm like, it's cool, whatever. Like my siblings have always had a big piece of my heart. So I'm like, let's see, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. She hugged me, we had a talk. She was like, I miss you. We all need to get together, like me, you, and Trey, and we need to like squash all this, blah, 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 right? So, that's how we kind of got back in communication. And like we met up and we kind of had a talk, but you could tell like it still was a lot. Like it was a lot to like move past, but my main focus was, hey, look, the girls. Like, I am so close to getting a place, but the girls, it's to the point, like, neighbors are calling, they're seeing things that they shouldn't have to see, and I was really worried about my sisters possibly being in the crossfire of that domestic relationship with mom and her boyfriend, that we weren't going to have sisters anymore, or they were going to go in the system, and it would have taken me so much longer. So it was like, I came and sat down with my siblings and was like, yo, put everything to the side. Let's focus on our little sisters and what they're going through. I really need y'all to like support me, support them, and help us. I just need, can y'all take the girls in, let them stay here for the summer from June until I get a place. It's only going to take me about a couple months. I'm right there. You know what I mean? And even then they were saying like, oh yeah, we could do that. But I could tell that, my brother has always been the type like, man, that's a lot. Like, I don't, you believe that I could do it, but I don't believe I can. Like, they always expect me because I'm the oldest, and I handle it and I do it and I don't make excuses. Even when I was 23 and I first got my sisters, like, I just did it. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't prepared. God prepared me. And that's how I am the mother that I am now, is because I put in the work, I put in the effort, and I just kept trying until I got it right. So I'm just, telling him like, yo, you just have to try. Like, you just have to show that you care. You just have to give the effort. Like, you have to start. But like, if I'm playing voice memos of mom's abuse and the way she's talking to them and stuff, and they're literally like, oh, this makes me want to cry. Like, this pissing me off, right? Like, making it seem like they care. Like, they really fooled the hell out of me. Like, my discernment, I think I was pushing my discernment to the side because like, I would rather all my siblings, rewrite our story, because the life that we had to live and the trauma we had to go through was the story that our mom wrote for us. So I would love for us to no longer let her be in the middle and break us up, and we all come together as siblings and like be stronger than ever. Like, still at this point, after everything, I'll have to talk about that later, but like, why me and my siblings weren't talking in the first place, like to come together and just do that, like, I was willing to do that. My heart was open for that. So yeah, so, I'm like telling them like, yo, it's serious. Like, I need you guys to help out. Like, all the other times I've had my own place, the girls have had their own room, so they've never had to step up like at that capacity because I always handle it. This was the first time I had ever been in a situation like that with no home. You know what I mean? Like, and it was at the hands of our mom. You feel me? So they still were like, So then I threw in there, I'm like, okay, well, because they'd be like, oh, well, we work and like it's gonna be hard to do this and do that. Mind you, my sisters were in summer camp. Mom had put them in a church camp. So from Monday to Friday, they would go to summer camp from as early as 7:30 to 5 p.m. So really it was just about, having to get up a little earlier before you go to work, drop them off at summer camp, being able to go to work and just pick them up. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like you had to be with them 24 hours a day. So I threw in there, since I am the main one that takes care of them, okay, how would you feel then if I sleep on the couch as well with them and I can be the one that takes them to summer camp? I'll go drive Uber In between that, I'll pick them up, and then I'll be there at nighttime to make sure, they're showered, they're fed, and all these other things, right? And it also was like, I am sleeping in my car, you know what I mean? And they're making it seem like, oh, well, we don't want you sleeping in your car, da-da-da-da. Like, yeah, it's cool, right? So mom wasn't allowing me to see the girls or really, like, talk to the girls. So if mom knew that I was the one behind all of this, she wouldn't allow them to stay at my siblings' house, right? So what we had to do, which was all me, all my work, is I'm like, all right, we got to be smart with the way that we move with mom, because she's going to sense that something's going on. Because, the biggest thing is that my sisters never really stayed the night at our siblings' house. Like, they rarely stayed the night. They really rarely hanged out with them. That's how inactive they were. So this is how we had to go about it. It was like, it couldn't just be that my sibling called and said, hey, can the girls stay for the summer? Because that would have been too much of a red flag, because if it was from me, it would make sense. But from them, mom would be like, y'all really rarely call or see them. You want them for the summer, you know what I mean? So we had to move a different way. So it started out where they came over for like Tink's birthday. It was around Tink's birthday. So it was like they came over for Tink's celebration birthday, right? I was there as well. And then from there it was like, hey, the girls want to stay the night. Is it cool? Mom was like, yeah, it's cool. Nothing about it. And then it went, hey, they want to stay another night. Kai's like, yeah, I've really been spending time with them. And then from there, it just continued to just be like, they've been having fun. They just want to stay for the rest of the summer. And mom didn't really fight it, because she already was neglecting them and didn't want them in the first place. And everything that she had going on, it was kind of like, cool. So the way mom makes it seem like is that she made the decision to send the girls to my siblings' house because she was in an abusive relationship, to try to get out of it. But that's not really how it went. And the whole time, even though my siblings were in communication with mom, I was the one behind all that. I was the one that did everything. I was the one that got up early, got my sisters ready, took them to summer camp, and then went to work and had to drive Uber and then pick them up, brought them back, make sure they were showered, did their hair, fed them, all that. Like, it was me. Yes, there were a couple nights that, like, my brother, his fiance, and Kai, like, they would cook something, but it wasn't every night. It was mainly me making sure that they ate. There was a couple times that they did, buy food or whatever, but it was me. Like, I was the one taking care of them just there. And we all were sleeping on the couch. I was sleeping on one couch. Tink was sleeping on the other couch. Mackie was sleeping on the floor right next to me in our siblings' home, right? And so this whole time they knew that. Then I got approved for a place in July, but it wasn't ready until the end of August. So then they knew, all right, she's not going to be here that long. And they already knew that. Like, I'm not going to be here that long. So then, they knew, like, I was telling them, once I get my place, I'm going to court and I'm fighting for custody of mom, for the girls against mom. And, they were acting like they were going to support it. They were going to be there. Like, they were going to testify, all these other things, right? So, also was a time where mom, her boyfriend that she was with almost killed her. Like, it was really bad. This was around, like, July 4th. Yeah, around July 4th. I remember this, right? Around July 4th, he had beat her up really bad. Like, really, really bad. Like, because she was saying that the girls were going to come stay the night one night, because they had already been there, for like a month, and she hadn't really seen them. So she was like, yeah, I'm going to pick up the girls and they can stay the night, a couple nights, and then they can come back. And so when it came to the day that she was supposed to pick him up, she kept saying, like, oh, I can't remember, I'll have to bring the text message up, but kept pushing the date back and had excuses and was like, oh, Rashad's sister's in town, so that was her boyfriend at the time, so we're gonna spend time with her, blah, blah, blah. But then ended up calling Kai, crying, saying that he beat her up really bad. They were in a hotel. He beat her up really bad, held her hostage in the hotel for days because she had so many bruises. Her face was so swollen. And that pretty much the hotel secretary peeped it when they were, like, outside of the room, and I guess they were arguing again. And it was a lady, and she called the police, and then that gave my mom the strength to, she talked to the police. She didn't press charges, though, but she just wanted to, she wanted them to drop her off at Walmart so she could get a different phone and then call my sister so she can come get her from 45 minutes away. And so even then, I was pushing Kai. I was telling Kai what to say to her, what to do in this situation. Like, she needs to go to the police station. She needs to file a report. She needs to press charges. She needs to get an order of protection, right? She did all that. So we're thinking, okay, she's going to get out of this situation. She ended up even, this is so long and it gets so messy. I was sleeping on a couch with my sisters there. My heart's so big that in that situation, I still felt the way about my mom, and I wasn't going to get involved in that because my mom continues to be in toxic, abusive relationship. Like, I witnessed attempted murder on my mom when I was 3 years old. So at this point, I am 27 years old, and here we are again. You continue to do these things. And then after she put my sisters through, like, I had no words for her. But I did not wish any hate on her. She came and stayed at my siblings' place. I went and slept in my car for a couple of days so she could have safety. But then you know what she ended up doing? She went home. She did go to the court. She did get an order of protection. She did get the police thing, whatever, was pressed charges. She went back home. She dropped the order of protection. She dropped the charges, and she was back with that man. And me and the girls were driving because the church, the camp that they went to was literally behind where mom stayed. I was driving them to camp, and we seen mom with bags getting in the car with the same boyfriend that just almost killed her. And she lied to us and said that her car's friend had broke down and they were stuck or whatever. And I literally sent the video to our siblings and was like, she's lying. And they said that to her, and she just put the sad face, and she had nothing to say. So yeah, it's a lot. So that was another reason why I kept, then that was something else where, like, whenever mom would try to be like, maybe not wanting them to stay for the whole summer, I would tell them to say, like, she's in an abusive relationship and it's not safe for the girls to be there. And so there was that as well, which that was a big reason why what I mentioned in court when I did go to court was that mom was in an abusive relationship and the danger that it put my sisters in because she still went back, and that I was worried that my sisters would be in the crossfire of that. So I got my place August 31st. That's when Hennessy came from New York. The girls were with me. We were in the new place after being homeless. I went to court. I went to court a week later. I got permanent full custody with everything that I mentioned about the abuse, but the main factor was, when the judge asked mom, can you have your kids right now? She said no, she didn't have nowhere to safely have them. She had just got evicted actually due to her poor choices and everything with that situation. So she was staying with a friend. And then they asked their dad, can you get your daughters right now? Because he was like, oh, I didn't even know they were with Bree, blah, blah, blah. How do you not know who your kids have been with for the past 3 months? Because he's not active. So the reason I don't really speak on him much yet is because he's a deadbeat. He don't exist, so that's why. So both parents said that they couldn't have their kids, so the judge had no choice but to give me permanent full custody. And so from June to December, I had my sisters. I had permanent full custody from September to December, so about 2.5 months. And then December, the judge ordered my sisters to go back. But during that court process, siblings were nowhere to be found. Didn't show up to court, weren't calling me to check up on me, make sure I was good while I was going through that battle, going through that fight. Didn't check up on the girls. Like I said, they came to a few of Tink's basketball games, came to Mackie's birthday party, but other than that, staying 10 minutes away, they weren't around, they weren't active at all. It was all on me and Hennessy. So yeah, there's that. Back to the messages. And that I'm convincing myself of this narrative, and that they're making it seem like I'm the one who needs psychological help, but really the sick one is our mom and our other relatives. Like, obviously it's very clear that I'm the black sheep, I'm the scapegoat of the family. I've made it clear that I'm breaking generational curses, and this is them literally not trying to let go and wanting me to stay so they can use me, abuse me. And I'm the main supplier of the family. That's the reality. Like, I'm the glue of the family, yet I get so much heat from the family. And yet again, saying that Tink doesn't want to speak to her because of me. No, Tink doesn't want to speak to you because she sees you for exactly who you are. You just kicked your 11-year-old out. She's seen you for who you are. I don't know what to tell you. And when she comes to me and she talks to me about it, I don't say, oh, you should still respect your mom or all this and that. No. I teach her about abuse, and because guess what? if I were to enable that, then she ends up in the type of relationships that her mom are in, or she ends up in, no, I'm not doing that. I'm setting my sister up for success. I'm helping her with her healing. I'm helping her realize her worth and helping her realize that it doesn't matter who it is. Your mama, your daddy, your grandma, me, Hennessy, anybody, if we ever abuse you or cross that line, it's clipped. You do not owe it. Nobody gets free passes around here. So, and like I said, that I'm making them think that they have anxiety and PTSD and like that I'm not a doctor. I don't need to be a doctor. It's called self-awareness. It's called me going to therapy. It's called me actually being in these spaces and doing the work and realizing it took me, I didn't even realize I had PTSD probably until my early 20s. I didn't realize my mom was a narcissist and I had been under her abuse until 23. You know what I mean? So like I'm still freshly of like reprogramming my brain and reconditioning myself. So you don't have to be a doctor to realize that a kid has PTSD. You don't have to be a doctor to realize that they need evaluation. Have you gotten them evaluations? No, I'm just a liar, right? And then, you know, the really thing that I hate is Mackie is 8, right? And so Mackie's very confused because she's the youngest and mom can manipulate her the most and control her the most and like love bomb her and like give her these good feelings and just try to make her forget about all the bad things that she's done to Mackie. Like Mackie is the one that she physically abused. She would hit her for no reason, for crying or whatever, and Mackie is neurodivergent. So, you know, she just doesn't know how to handle her, you know. So there's that, but she tries to make Mackie forget that by love bombing or doing these things. And so yes, what 8-year-old is going to say that they don't want to be with their mom, even if their mom is abusing them? That's why it's so important for me to get them away from that so they can actually see the difference of that and this and get them in therapy and all these other things so they can process that. Because if not, she's just going to end up an adult with all this trauma and not understand any of it. Monday, August 4th, I said I'm not going back and forth with you. All that can be done in court. You realize you're not only making your life harder, but also your daughter's life harder. You're depriving them from a better life, but I'll tell the girls what you have decided. They were traumatized when they had to come back to you in December and you laughed at the videos of them crying. Here you are about to traumatize them again. Let me know the date that you officially chose and I will send you the prices of the tickets. So at this point, like I was really beating myself up because as always, like I speak up for my sisters and it was like I obviously have to bend a little bit. Like my biggest thing is like I want my sisters to stay here, so I have to agree to things and negotiate with our abuser for something that I never want to do. I feel like you should never have to negotiate with the abuser. You should never have to co-parent with the abuser. Mind you, I'm not the ex-husband, I'm the daughter, and I'm having to be forced to not only have to still have contact with my abuser, because if I weren't taking care of my sisters I would have no contact with her, and have to co-parent with her. Like, so I don't want to have to agree to any of this. I want me and my sisters to be free. I want to be able to block her and everybody else and live our life. But, you know, right now this is kind of the situation. So I was beating myself up because I'm like, damn, did I not, you know, I should have bent a little more, or, you know, because I still spoke my piece, but like, you know, try not to go too crazy. And so I'm like, did I really mess it up? Like, yeah, do I have pride, you know, like, should I have just shut up? And I'm like, no, like, I'm not just going to lay down for anything. That's not what God called me to do. So, and at this point, I'm like, all right, like, at the end of the day, the thing is, like, I can say whatever. I can say yes to everything she says. But the moment I make her mad or I do something she don't like, she's then going to say, okay, we'll bring my daughters back. And that's why it was important to get a lawyer, because it's like, I need this done in court, because just constantly having to go through mom and getting temporary guardianship, but then she changes her mind and then there's, you know what I mean? Like, how am I supposed to create stability for my sisters when there's no stability underneath that? You said, actually, you are choosing to traumatize them because you won't agree to some phone calls and a video chat, as if sleeping in a car and being outside at parks and whatnot. I'm in over 100 degrees weather did not traumatize them. You are not my kid's father. I do not have to work around anything with you, and actually I have full custody, so no one else has any say. You traumatize them by making them believe it will be so awful when they come back and get them all worked up. Stop lying to them as if you can just run off to Arizona and keep them. And another thing, if you look back on my TikTok, because I've been documenting this journey for a year and a half, like the videos when my sisters found out that the judge had ordered them to go back with mom. Like, they were devastated, they were crying. Mom seen those videos and laughed at them. how do you see these videos of your children finding out that they're having to go back and live with you and they're devastated? Like, come on now. Also, since you did not let me stay in contact and you continue to be drama and change the narrative to pay all your bills, all contact will be cut with you, and Tink will not have the phone you bought her. Do not try to sneak one in her things. Hope your lawyer has educated you on how difficult it will be for a sibling to get full custody, and especially out of state, just because you hate me. I am only buying their tickets, not yours, so better run to GoFundMe for $40,000 more. And by the way, I stopped caring about what you thought a long time ago, so you're wasting your time. As always, the same thing that she's mentioning, the money, but it's like, you're saying that I'm not saying that me and my sisters living in the car, like as a family, wasn't traumatizing, but like that was the after effect of breaking free from a generational curse, trying to save them from our mom. Like that's how extreme the situations had to be to then finally get safety. But the fact that she doesn't take accountability, the reason of why we had to do that, and then that she stopped caring about what I thought a long time ago. But yeah, I'm the one that takes care of your kids. So like, how does that work? Like, you control everything. You don't take care of your kids. You disrespect me. You abuse your children. You neglect them. But then you don't care about what I think. Yet I have your children. Like, do y'all not see what's wrong with that? Like, and then just trying to scare me to make me think that, you know, I'll never win custody because she's the mom and I'm the sibling. And then this is the recording she sent.
So make sure you tell the girls that the real reason why they cannot stay until at least Thanksgiving break is because you don't want to agree to them talking to me twice a week and FaceTiming once on the weekend. It's weird to me because you don't want to agree to Tink talking to me once a week, but yet she can come home and be around me every day. So make that make sense. But yeah, you know, you used to talk about how honest you were, and you've definitely gotten away from that. So hope you're really telling them the truth. Huh?
And so with that, you know, this is when I was like going back and forth, like, Bree, you know, I know you right now, you don't want to have to set up these phone calls and these FaceTimes and, you know, allowing her to control things, but, you know, not be here or be all the way over here and controlling things here and telling you what you can and cannot do. And, you know, the whole social media thing, that's all just control. Like, because she knows that money, you know, eventually will come in from social media. So it's like, oh, yeah, you can have my kids and take care of them and I'm not going to do anything, but you're not going to do this, and that, and I'm going to be able to do this, and that. And my thing is, like, you have never showed consistency with the girls. And so you're only adding this to put it in paper so it looks good in court when we do end up there, because you know we will one day. And so, you know, at this point I had to tell myself, like, all right, like, I pray to God and whatever happened. And I'm like, my sister's having to talk to her is never something that I want, but that's better than my sister's having to go back and live with her. And so, you know, that's a heartbreaking thing that, you know, me and my sisters and my family, we have to deal with. My sisters don't want to talk to her. And my thing is, like, talk to your kids, listen to your kids, see what they want. What do they want? Do you ever consider their feelings? They don't want to talk to you. So you have to respect that. And if you really care about rebuilding your relationship with your kids, that's up to them if they want to. You know, I hate that people make it seem like children don't have feelings and that they're not allowed to decide if they want to continue a relationship with a parent, especially after you've been abusive and neglectful. Like, as a parent, it's a one-way street to your kids of how you treat them. And so if you don't want to put in that work to do healing and try to repair that, knowing that your kids are hurt and traumatized because of you, like, you cannot just force them. So she just tries to force these things, and I don't like that. So I just said, this is August 4th. I agreed to everything but the social media part, just not exactly what you wanted. I have no control over what you decide. You are about to drag them through unnecessary things. That's not my choice. Only thing I can control is taking it all to court. You do everything by force. You don't actually have conversations with your kids to see what they want or listen to how they feel. They know the truth, and they have told you how they feel about it over and over again. She said, I didn't say you had to do anything about social media, like force you to. Just said you shouldn't put them in there anymore, and you wasn't there with me when they was back with me, so not even going to go down that road. Let's agree on something so they can start school, but I'm overdue to see them, so I do want to see Mac around her B-Day and both of them on Thanksgiving break. If we can work out an open weekend before then and I could fly them home, then that would be great too. Tuesday, August 5th, I said, write out what you want me to type on the form. I will send it to you to review, and if I need to add anything, we can do a weekend like the first week of September 5th to the 7th. What dates for around Mac's birthday? Mac's birthday is October 19th. And Hennessy's birthday is October 13th. They're both Libras. Their birthdays are literally 6 days apart. I said, if we agree on everything, I would like to get them enrolled in school by the end of this week so they can start the following Monday, as school has already started here for 2 weeks now. I would need the guardianship paper as well as possibly their birth certificates to enroll them and their transfer records from both schools, which I might be able to get emailed to me, but I'm not sure. She said Wednesday, August 6th, okay, I have read your messages in its entirety. I will write everything out tomorrow and make the calls about the school transfers to see what will be needed. I've started. Then Thursday, the next day, August 7th, I've started the letter, but I got called to babysit a friend's 2 little girls because she had to go to the hospital and they are both still up. I try my best to finish tomorrow. I text back, okay. Cedar Ridge also left a voicemail asking if Mac was returning. Mac's school, I don't know how, with when I had permanent custody or whatever and my number and stuff was still in the system, they have mom, but they have my number. So they called my Mac's school in Illinois, called my phone number thinking it was mom, saying that they have on the records that Mackie's supposed to be returning, but she's not registered, so they wanted to know what was up. She said, okay, thank you. Tuesday, August 12th. So last time that was August 7th. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. 5 days later. This is my letter from my daughter, Bree Clark, to enroll my little girls, Mayana F. and McKinley L. in school out in Arizona. I have agreed to allow them to stay with her and start school out there until we reassess on Thanksgiving break of this year, 2025. I'm doing this because my daughters really like it there and want to start school there, but I still want to be included in their lives because I am uncertain on how I feel about them moving there permanently. I want to talk on the phone to them at least twice a week for a minimum call of 30 minutes. We can work out days and times, and I would like to FaceTime once on the weekends for at least 30 minutes. I work weekends, but I would like to see them for a weekend in October, close to McKinley's birthday. Also, I would like them back home here in Bloomington, Illinois for Thanksgiving break. I'm giving her full permission for if they need medical attention or anything involving their education, including enrolling them. Then she said, did I leave anything out? Sorry, it was delayed. I've been staying busy to run from the grieving about my dad and working 2 jobs. What do you need exactly from the last schools? Have you asked their schools there? And I work today from 2 to 11. I said, thank you. I will get it typed up and sent to you. What's your email again? You'll have to print it, sign it, and have a witness sign it, and then scan it back to me. You can do all that at the library. They can help you. I haven't contacted their schools because I can't do anything without any guardianship paperwork. I just need you to call Cedar Ridge and Evans to let them know that I have temporary guardianship so I can get their transcripts to transfer them to an out-of-state school, or you can see if they can email them to me, whichever is easier. My email is then I can contact their schools here to see what they will need. She said, okay, I will call tomorrow. Email is, and then she asked, what is the city in AZ? So I told her, right? But I haven't given her my address. She said, okay, thank you. This Wednesday, which was, the Wednesday that just passed last week, was August 13th. So we were texting that August 12th. The next day, I had the paperwork. I typed up everything on the paperwork that she wrote out. I wrote a letter. I left spaces for her to sign, and I sent it to her email. So all she had to do was go to the library, print it off, sign it, have a witness sign it with her, scan it, send it back to me, and I could have had it signed that day, right? I said, I just sent 3 separate documents for you to sign to your email. 2 of them are the same temporary guardianship papers you filled out before, one for Tink and one for Mac. The 3rd one is a letter where I wrote everything you sent me. It was too long to put on the temporary guardianship form, so I made an additional document. You'll sign on the bottom of that where there is an X. I'll sign under yours on the 2nd line. I also wrote in the email what pages to sign to make it easier, but if there's any confusion, just let me know. Once you get it signed with 2 witnesses, scan it to my email. I will sign and then send you the final copies. I sent that to her Wednesday. She didn't text me back until Saturday, this past Saturday, which was August 16th. And she said, I just got out the hospital. I'm headed to work. We'll try my best to go to the library tomorrow. Today is August 19th, y'all, like I said. I still have my sisters. Paperwork has been signed to Mom, hasn't been signed. And as y'all see, all these messages and things that were said, if you look at my comments and negative comments, it's very similar things. So I truly believe it's our abusive mom gathering whoever she can and our siblings and relatives and whoever that's commenting these negative things, the same things like, oh, the GoFundMe, the Amazon wish list, all these other things. I truly believe they leaked my number, or they either leaked my number for whoever they've gathered to text me. At this point, I feel like our mom has been playing with me, I guess. I don't know if she's trying to plan something, you know, but it really doesn't make sense. Today's the 19th, school starts in 2 days and back home. So like, I don't know. And the lawyer thing, I can't really speak too much on, but I just want to say that like, we put things on pause. Like I talked to my lawyer and everything, and we was gonna file right then and there, like emergency. But since it was in the works and Mom was saying that she was willing to extend it, he was like, that's the best route. If she's going to willingly extend it, like that will save you money and time. Like just see if that works out. So this is what I just been waiting to see if it's gonna be extended. Because if so, she's willingly giving me that. And my biggest goal is to just have my sister stay here for however long it is, right? So now it's like I contacted my lawyer to put that in there to see, you know, what could be done about that or what he thinks we should do moving forward, because I still don't have anything signed. It's August 19th, y'all. A lot of people are asking, oh, are your sisters going to school? I've been trying to get my sisters enrolled in school here. Mom hasn't done that. I don't have paperwork right now. I got my sisters with me, but I don't have any paperwork. I can't take them to the doctor. I can't get them medical insurance. I can't get them enrolled for school. They're just here, right? So like, that's a lot of the things that I think you guys don't understand because I don't talk about it. Is like, until I get this paperwork, I can't get the things, like I can't even give my sisters the bare minimum of care. And that's what I don't like, because I like to take care of everything. You know, before we even get them enrolled here, I gotta find them a doctor. I gotta get them into a doctor. I gotta get them physicals. We gotta go to the dentist. We gotta go to the eye doctor. Honestly, I'm just about to pay out of pocket for that, but I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to, because I no longer have updated paperwork. So like, I'm waiting on this paperwork for so many other things more than just enrolling my sisters to school. But this is the real raw journey of dealing with a narcissistic parent that abuses and neglects their kids, and I'm taking care of them, and they don't want to even do the simple part of just signing paperwork. And so now it's just a waiting game. But yes, I have my sisters. I mean, and I'm just waiting, and I don't know what's going on right now, but you know, by August 21st, Mom is she's gonna have some consequences, because if she doesn't have them enrolled for school there, she's gonna start getting calls there. They're not in school, so we'll see. You know, she said she was gonna send it yesterday, didn't get it. I personally think with all these messages and stuff, I don't know what's going on, but just know I'm prepared for whatever. God is our greatest protection, and just keep my family in your prayers, because like, this is really sick and it's really crossing the line. But it's not unheard of, and it's not unknown that retaliation definitely happens against people who speak out on abuse. And so I have screamed on the top of my lungs about what my sisters have gone through, what I've gone through, and yeah. But I'm not worried, like I said. God is my greatest protector. It's Chanel in the glass door for me, bro. She wants to come out here so bad. God is our greatest protector, you know, and I stay prayed up, and we are forever covered. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to get this video out there, because it's something that I just wanted to address before I continue on with the rest of the videos. And yeah, it's a lot, man. Wearing these shoes is heavy, you know, but and can't stop, won't stop. I'm gonna smile through it all no matter what. And I just know God's working. You know, the devil is obviously working, but God works so much harder. So I'm out. Finally made it without the camera dying.